What's up everybody, welcome back to Nintendo Land, and today we finally got an in-depth look of Breath of the Wild 2, the next trailer to show off what this game is going to be about, and I can't wait to dive in. I am so excited, so hit that like button and hit that subscribe button to stay up to date on all things Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, and there's sure to be more trailers coming in the future, so get ready for more content. I'm going to be covering all types of stuff that you may have missed within this trailer. So, with that said, let's get into the things that you may have missed within the Breath of the Wild 2 brand new trailer. So the trailer actually starts off with Link's arm being covered in red Malice instead of that green aura that we saw originally. So clearly whatever's happening to his arm, it's being infested by Ganondorf's magic or whoever that is. And within that Malice growing, which probably comes from Link removing the hand from the chest of Ganondorf, all this Malice starts to pour out, and we get to see Ganondorf awakening and raising his arms. It's also worth noting that this Malice that comes from Ganondorf, and once again, it's not confirmed that this is Ganondorf, many people just think it is, but this Malice coming from him is a lot different. It's darker, a darker shade of red, almost like blood almost, and it's just a lot more scarier looking than the regular Malice we've seen in the past. And before we get to see anything else that happens within the trailer, we see Zelda falling within the cave, which we know is happening because she's actually doing that within the reveal trailer as the floor started to break below her when she woken up Ganondorf, which seemed to be the case. And she's falling down within the cavern. We don't know what's happening to her as we don't really see her again within this trailer. So unfortunately, it looks like our hopes of playing as Zelda might not happen. Well, maybe. I don't know yet. Then we get a scene of Link falling from the sky, very Skyward Sword-like, and yes, look at his arm, he's got a new mechanical arm, probably with some type of Sheikah technology, and of course we're going to get to see it in action here soon. But he's falling from the sky and about to land on a floating island within the sky. Also, let's take a look at his gear that he's wearing, as it's completely different and his hair is very long this time. Almost as if Link has spent a lot of time just by himself or something, and he just kind of grew a little older. He grew out his hair and stuff, and maybe he was within those caves for a long time trying to get out after the castle rose from the ground. We then get another scene of Link in the sky, but this time he has his glider, and his glider is slightly different from what we remember. It now has these little tails on the back end of it, and I don't know if it does anything different. I don't know if he can just, instead of glide, he can actually fly now, like control where he goes within the sky, or I don't know. And we get to see Link running on one of these islands as the birds are flying away and his long hair flopping behind him. He has what seems to be the snow boots from the first game, and also a new Sheikah shield on his back with a bow and arrows. But what's actually extremely interesting is he doesn't seem to have his master sword, or at least he doesn't have it out, as he has some type of regular sword that's hidden behind the bow. So, where is the Master Sword? Did he lose it when everything rose from the ground? It's not really confirmed or denied here. We really don't know. We then get to see some type of stone statue, dragon, one-eyed Cyclops thing. This could be a Beamos for sure, but I don't know if it's friend or foe. If you look real closely with its neck as it's not extending, you can see that aura coming from his neck, the same aura that came from the arm that Link wields, which probably is some type of positive force. The force that was controlling and putting down Ganondorf until he was reawakened. So maybe this is some type of NPC that you can chat with and that will help you. Or it could be a boss, who knows at this point. But if it was a boss, I would expect there to be some type of malice surrounding it or something to kind of signify a boss, but I'm not getting any type of enemy or boss vibes from this statue, at least not yet. However, pay attention to the two white tips on the edges of the statue, as we will see them again very soon. Well, this time we get to see Link in his regular attire, which makes me think maybe not only can you change his gear this time around, but you can change his hair. Now, I know some people might even question maybe the first guy was somebody different. No, that probably is not the case, considering the fact that Link also has his arm still within that sleeve thing that he's wearing, or whatever happened to his arm, and also the fact he has the same glider from the beginning of the trailer. We actually see the return of Step Talus, but this time there is a whole Bokoblin camp on top of him. And if you noticed, Bokoblins are slightly different this time. They have one long horn in the middle of their head rather than, two little ones on each side of their head. So I don't know if this is some type of new breed, if they're stronger, whatever, I don't know. But this is still Step Talus. You can still see the stone on top of him, which you'll eventually need to make your way to. And I'm sure you'll just climb up him like you would a enemy camp instead of the, normal way of climbing up the side of Step Talus. We then get to see Link's new arm power-up and the abilities that it can do. But first off, we see that green aura once again kind of settling into his arm, and it gives him kind of some nails this time, which is weird, but obviously it has something to do with some type of dragon race. I think dragons are a big thing this time, as you actually see lots of things, not only like the dragon Cyclops statue that we seen earlier, but something that's coming very soon. The first power-up we see is that it actually has stasis abilities within his hand itself, as this time he uses a new form of stasis, which is very weird. It seems to be time travel stasis, which not only stops items, but sends them back into their original path. So the possibilities of this could be literally endless, just sending things back in time from when they happen. I wonder if you can do this with like any object or enemy within the game. I'm sure it's probably limited, but that would be really, really cool. As his spike ball is rolling down the hill and Link sends it back up to the Moblins and Bokoblins, which also, one-horned, new variants. Now back to the dragon theory. Link is actually holding a shield that has the head of a dragon on it, and it breathes fire when he holds his shield out, which is very interesting, once again kind of signifying that dragons have a big emphasis on this. And if you look closely, you can see that green glow in the eye of the shield and also in the mouth of the dragon on the shield. But here, Link is actually fighting a brand new enemy in a cave, and it actually seems to be the new Breath of the Wild form of a like. As you can see, the mouth opens up and tries to eat Link alive, but this time has some type of yellow orb uvula in his mouth that Link could probably strike if he wanted to, but he just catches it on fire from the wall. And it's simply hanging from the wall, and it literally looks just like a like. I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. And the last power-up of the arm we get to see is some type of weird teleportation, maybe? I'm really not sure. It shows a drop of water from the ground raising upward instead of going down into the ground, which I don't know if the video's, in reverse, what's happening here, but the drop goes straight up into the sky, and maybe that's Link as that drop, and maybe that's your way to get up to the sky. In certain areas, you can teleport straight up and go straight through platforms, and maybe this is your way to get to the sky. I couldn't really think of any other way that Link would get up here, as they don't really show anything else, but this is a cool way to teleport up there, I guess. It's very weird. I don't know if this means that Link can go through any type of solid structure anytime he wants. Maybe this is some type of new teleportation thing, or I really don't know. Once again, it's very hard to say. But to his right, you see a little altar with, once again, those white tips that we saw on the head of the statue of the dragon. And down below, you can see some original landmarks on the map from the original game, like the giant bowing trees that sprout out in that jungle-themed area. But besides that, I don't really know where these temples and where these grounds floating in the sky are coming from. Clearly, I've never seen these before, so it's not structures that have already been on the map, but they're new ones, maybe that were hidden underground somewhere. And the castle itself is amongst one of the things that gets lifted into the sky. And it seems it's being pushed up straight from Malice itself, and the castle's still in ruin from the first calamity, and it seems like it probably will be taken over once again by Ganondorf this time. So I'm hoping the castle actually gets taken over and not just broken again. I hope it gets kind of like completely changed the way it did in Ocarina of Time, where Ganondorf just changed it to theme him. So I would love to see something along those lines instead of just ruined castle once again. But also, if you look closely, there seems to be something in the Malice either lifting up the castle or dragging from the castle. I can't quite make it out, but you can barely see it. Some type of light object that's thin and long coming from the castle. I don't know if it's like an arm or what that is, but it's very creepy. And then we get a shot of the castle up in the sky with the Malice surrounding it. Now, the world seems to be kind of more or less the same. They didn't show too much of the actual overworld itself, but there seems to at least be some buildings and maybe a new town built right outside the castle town. Maybe they were trying to rebuild Castle Town, and then this happened, so we might have a new area down there. But overall, the map looks relatively the same, so I'm a little worried about that, but there's still plenty of time to show us what's changed within the actual overworld map itself. So the game still isn't coming until 2022, which is, yes, a little bit of a bummer, but I'm very excited to see what else this game has to offer, and I'm sure we're going to get more information on it very, very soon, and probably its own dedicated Nintendo Direct if I was to be a betting man. But what did you guys think of this trailer so far? Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts and your opinions and your theories based on some of the things that I've mentioned today. And remember to like the video and subscribe to stay up to date on all things Zelda, Breath of the Wild 2, and Nintendo in general. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.